Welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. So today I want to talk about how Cooper Flagg recently became the 2025-2026 NBA Rookie of the Year. Okay? And so I know there's a lot of people excited about Cooper Flagg right now, Even I'm excited about the Cooper Flagg cards to an extent. But today, in the last few days, I've been doing some digging, okay? And that led me to PSA to go over some population reports. But before I dig into the population reports and some other news about, the Cooper Flagg cards that are selling on the market or the autos, I want to talk about 1996 and the Kobe Bryant rookie card, all right? So, back in 1996, we had competition for licensed product, all right? And competition for licensed product is good for the fact that, well, guess what? It tends to keep the population down for PSA graded cards over, say, a Monopoly taking it over, all right? And the reason why is because, when you have competition, you have buyers buying different cards, obviously, Not all purchasing the same card. So, like it says here, 1996, just to remind you, I'm guessing you probably know. We had Topps Chrome, Topps Finest, Bowman's Best, Stadium Club. We had the Flair Skybox going on back then with Flair Ultra, Skybox Premium and Metal, and NBA Hoops. Upper Deck with its Collector's Choice, SP, SPX, and UD3. Of course, we had Skybox International with its EX2000 and Flair Showcase. And all of these are, awesome cards for Kobe Bryant for the most part, I really like this, if you can see it. Just this classic, was it Bowman's Best, from 96. I love those Bowman's Best cards. Just the way they look. And you have others, the Topps Chrome Refractors that I like. I like, like the Flair Ultra, the Flair Metal cards for Kobe Bryant. These are all great cards. And if you're into big players, competition is really awesome, because you have all these different designs, different cards to chase. And like I said earlier, it seems to keep the grading population down on a lot of the best cards because you have licensed product competition, And so we can look at some of the prices on, current Kobe Bryant cards, And, he's such a big name, at this point in time, that I can understand, why there's some big prices on these cards. I get it. So, we have like this 1996 Kobe Bryant rookie card. What is this? Let's take a closer look. That's a PSA 10, going for $1,999.99. That's quite a bit for a paper product, I have to admit, It's a good price tag. And then you can look at his Topps Chrome rookie card. This is a PSA 9. I've always liked these Topps Chrome cards, the number 138. I like the fact that, back then you could get into, Topps paper. The same number was 138. Topps Chrome, the same number, 138. Awesome cards. And they want some big money for these cards, Okay? And then, in comparison, we can look at some of Cooper Flagg's cards. All right. Now, if you're going to spend, $2,000 to $3,000, I would recommend jumping into the Kobe Bryant cards. I'm just putting that out there. So when we look at Cooper Flagg, what stands out to me with some of these prices just on Google is this eBay where they're asking $2,199.99, basically $2,200, okay? And it's a refractor. And, if you're going to chase down some of these Cooper Flagg cards, I recommend if you can hit a refractor over just, say your base Topps Chrome, because you'll hit a lower population. It's a better card overall. And, you can see the prices on his paper products, not much, and there's a reason for that. Here's a PSA 9. I believe they're asking way too much at $59.99 for a PSA 9 on a Cooper Flagg 201 card. Here's another one at $50. I think that most of these are way overpriced for the paper products. Here we have one at $19. That's about right. And then, since I'm here, I may as well hit the Chrome 251. Okay, so when you step on up to your Chrome number 251 card, they're asking quite a bit out the gate, okay? I would never do this, all right, with what I know about cards. And if you're really going to jump into Cooper Flagg cards, you're going to have to really do some more homework, because pricing right now with everything that's going on, he's the new Rookie of the Year, the prices are just exploding. And so I would have to put a, buyer beware on all of it at this point in time. Now, it's very possible that these cards will really explode, in future years if Cooper Flagg lives up to his reputation. But if he doesn't, we can pretty much guarantee that, well, like a lot of Rookies of the Year, he may just kind of get swept to the side. And so here we have a PSA 10 going for $390. That's a pretty good deal. Granted, it's not a refractor. It's just your, base Topps Chrome Cooper Flagg, okay? But hey, $390. Not bad right now, but hopefully, things pan out for him and prices don't go down. Here we see another one going for $599.95. I would probably stay away from that type of price on just a base Topps Chrome Cooper Flagg. Yeah, it's a PSA 10. But does that make it special? If it has a low pop for grading, it makes it more special with prices like that. But if it doesn't, guess what? We know what's going to happen. People are going to lose money. All right. Okay, so that takes me to PSA. We're going to go over some population reports on cards today. Okay, so here I am just looking at some basic Kobe Bryant cards. Now, first off, I pulled up the 1996 Topps Chrome 138 Kobe Bryant card, okay? We saw some fairly decent prices, but look at the Gem Mint 10. There's only 840 Gem Mint 10s. Now, there's quite a few Mint 9s out there, 4,232. For all the grading, we have a total population of 6,966, okay? So that's important too. You always want to look at these totals, all right? I prefer totals that are low, And typically, a lot of times your 9s are your most populated card for one reason or another, okay? Now, but, Gem Mint 10, 840, okay? So I can see where there would be some value in this product. And, if I was really going to get into this, I'd want like a refractor, okay? At least a refractor, okay? So let's take a look at the population for that. 63 for Gem Mint 10s. That's what we like to see, okay? A total of 426. Once again, that's what we like to see. That's pretty important, okay? All right. So I could keep going down here. There's quite a few, different variations of the Topps Chrome card, And most of them are lower pop. We can pretty much guarantee that, these top two are about the highest pop, once we get into it, all right? Let's just check out the paper, all right? Because paper, that's definitely a better way for a lot of collectors to get into this product, okay? Go with the paper. Okay, so here I am looking at Flagship for the most part. 1996 Topps 138 Kobe Bryant. Now this is paper, okay? We have a total of 50,709, all right? The Gem Mint 10 of 5,429. The bulk of the population lies once again in the Mint 9s at 23,007. Okay. That is a lot of graded cards, all right? I mean, and so it's kind of a buyer beware on this. If you're going to get into paper Kobe Bryant cards for his rookie, be careful out there, because there's a lot of cards. Okay. But, this is from 1996, so that's a lot of years of people sending in cards to get graded, all right? Okay, so, we hit some of the Kobe Bryant numbers, for Chrome, which I recommend if you're going to really get into these cards, go with the Chrome if you can, all right? Because you're going to get a lower pop over the paper for both Kobe Bryant and Cooper Flagg. Okay, so right here we have a total of 5,037. But Gem Mint 10s for the Topps Chrome really kind of stand out at 1,609. Your most highly populated, once again, is always the 9s at 2,255, okay? But 1,609, that's more than Kobe Bryant, okay? And, if you're going to pay quite a bit for a card, I would probably be looking more towards a refractor. The 2025 Topps Chrome 251 Cooper Flagg refractor, okay? And for the refractor, there's 1,680, okay? 483 Gem Mint 10s, 828 Mint 9s, okay? So right there, I'd recommend if you can track down a refractor over just your base Chrome, do it, I'm not a big guy in parallels, but I'll be honest here. If you're chasing down populations, you're going to be happier, with a parallel to an extent, whether it's a refractor or just a base, Like, let's just look at this Chrome 251 Cooper Flagg Green Ray Wave. This isn't a refractor, but there's only 4 Gem Mint 10s, I would prefer that over buying the base Cooper Flagg, which is way overpriced to an extent in my mind, okay? Or I'd be jumping on a refractor, and that's kind of the good thing about parallels is they do keep the population lower on the card itself, Okay, so went over the Chrome, okay? So there's quite a bit of Chrome already, okay? So now let's just check out the Flagship, paper product for Cooper Flagg. Okay, so here's your 2025 Topps 201 Cooper Flagg Flagship, okay? This is your base paper product, It already has a total population of 17,677. Now, that's not near as many as the Kobe Bryant paper product, okay? Which was way, way, way up there. I mean, insane. But the thing about this product is the Gem Mint 10s, okay? You have 6,038 Gem Mint 10s already, all right? And people are going to keep pulling these cards and getting them graded. And this is just tossed because a lot of people are going to forget that Bowman paper is in the market, and there's a lot more Bowman paper, and so you're going to get all that getting graded as well. Okay. So 6,038 Gem Mint 10s. That's quite a bit, okay? Back to Kobe Bryant and the paper. Okay, so went over the population reports of your more popular cards in the set for Cooper Flagg, okay? Topps chrome, Topps paper. Didn't even hit the Bowman paper. I'll hit that, maybe a few months from now. I bet the numbers are just atrocious. You know what I mean for Cooper Flagg. But anyway, this post has really stood out in my mind because right here, like it says, this comes from R.A. Solovi. This was put out on April 23rd, 2026, 10:58 a.m. Topps sent Backyard Breaks 5 Cooper Flagg autos and 3 cases of Breakers Delight. Meanwhile, you're at 25 consecutive EQL losses. Can't buy a hobby box, and your local scalpers cleared out every blaster box off the shelf the second they were put up. Don't you love this hobby? And I've told you, the hobby has more or less gone to the breaking companies and the breakers and the gamblers. It's become a spectator sport. Look at all of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Likely the best of the Cooper Flagg cards for the most part. All going to backyard breaks, all going to gamblers. And, there's people that will stick up for this, They didn't send 5 Cooper Flagg autos. They sent cases of boxes of cards. The packs in those boxes contain cards. 5 of those cards were Cooper Flagg autos. Yeah, but, come on. The odds against that happening are really just atrocious to an extent. You know what I mean? Because those are all case hits. To be fair, these guys are buying hundreds of thousands of dollars of product. Yeah, there is no shortage of people sticking up for the gambling aspect of this hobby. But really, that's what's going to destroy this hobby is as more and more people roll into what they can afford, what they can buy, what they can never get, and they start to realize who's always getting those best cards. I foresee the bubble popping and a collapse. I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year, next year, whenever, but clearly the allocation is messed up, just like it says here. 5 Cooper Flagg autos and 3 cases is not a pull. That is allocation. Sports Card Radio reporting an alleged Topps medallion program where breakers pay $150,000 a month for 60% of first wave product. And Backyard Breaks lines up with exactly what that buys. You are 25 EQL losses deep with nothing to show for it. The shop down the street cannot get a hobby box on the shelf, and scalpers cleared the blasters before you got off work. Your local shop would rip Flagg on their own counter tomorrow if Fanatics let them through the door. Yeah, that's just it. Really, this Topps Fanatics scheme has just pushed so many people out of the market to where I've said it, it's just, it's almost like a hijacked market to an extent, where Topps controls, new products, secondary market, third market, whatever. And what gets me is it's going to affect grading populations because you're going to start getting more and more people buying low end. And they're going to keep getting the stuff graded. We saw it with the paper. Already the paper Cooper Flagg has outraced the Kobe Bryant paper. And that's just crazy how we can compare, the Kobe Bryant population total, the whole population grade total of like 50,000 compared to, close to, 17, 18,000 that Cooper Flagg at this point. When the Cooper Flagg paper cards are all graded, what is the total population going to be? 100,000? 80,000? And so I don't see much value there, to be quite honest. The value for Cooper Flagg is more or less going to be in the autos and, your kind of rarer parallel, chrome products, maybe even the refractors, the higher grades. And so to an extent, the new modern hobby, which is a monopoly compared to what it was 20 years ago, is really not doing that great for the consumer, in my opinion. The best of the best goes to breaking companies and gamblers. Everyone's getting the low end overly graded to no end, if you know what I mean. I just don't even know what to say about that. And then, overwhelmingly, I believe that most people are going to eventually turn away from what has been put on their table by Topps. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about all this? Do you believe that the Topps monopoly and its marketing system is more or less destroying a lot of rarity in sports card collecting? I do. I mean, when I go over the grading numbers, I'm just like, oh, geez, I don't even know what to say, And I see some of the prices that, people are trying to fetch for a Cooper Flagg Gem Mint 10 Flagship product. I just think it's a joke. I really do. I think that a lot of people aren't doing their homework. And I believe that there's going to be some people getting hurt because of that, If you're going to buy any graded Cooper Flagg card, I'll say it again, just go and look at the PSA population report before you do it. You really need to do it. I'm telling you, by the time the next season hits 2026, 2027, what is the Cooper Flagg population report going to be at PSA then? So if anything, try and, stick with the chrome. It's a little bit better for population. Hit the chrome refractors, hit the parallels if you can do it. If you're going to buy a graded product or get into it, just for the fact you're going to have a rarer card, with a lower population. That's all I can say is be careful out there. So anyway, I'd like to thank my subscribers. You're the reason I keep doing this, and my viewers as well. If you could hit the thumbs up, and if you could subscribe to my channel, I appreciate it. And always check out the your subscriber list to look for the red dot next to my name to see if I put out a new episode. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.